later. I'll flip back through the deck. But basically, we're in module 2, which is, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage here with module 1, but I want you guys to understand a little bit about context and chain prompting, because that's what we covered in module 1. So a lot of people use chat. This class is going to run a little bit longer, I'm afraid, because we do have to do a little bit of recap. So a lot of people start using ChatGPT as if it were Google, right? That's a zero-shot prompt. And Google does a very specific type of AI. They do 2 major AI functions better than anybody else in the world. The first thing they do is semantic search, okay? So semantic search is I type in a few words and I want to find some document that's related to it, right? So they do semantic search like nobody's business. Now, the other side of semantic search is indexing. What is indexing? That's combing the world's web of public archives and creating a gigantic index up to date, up to the minute, that can be indexed through semantic search. Okay, we all know that. So when you start thinking about talking to ChatGPT, talking to a large language model, you are not talking to Google search. You're building a context, okay? So what is a context anyway? This room is a context. It has 4 walls, it has rows of desks, chairs, people in it. I'm starting to describe a context. If you can describe your specialty, but if you could, which I can't, that would be your context. If you describe a house, you don't simply say 4-bedroom, 3-bath. You say where it's situated, what its elevation is, where its northern and southern faces are, streets, access, and so forth. These are all contexts, and this is the way you need to think when you talk to ChatGPT. What you're doing is you're talking to an artificial intelligence that's super human, super smart. Our neural paths, we have about 90 billion neurons in our minds, right? 90 billion. One single AI processor, state of the art, has about 80 billion transistors, okay? Consider that. But we use 50,000 or more of these 80 billion transistors in one large language model processing system. The speed of our mind travels at about 2 meters to 300 meters per second, our electrochemical circuit. So that'll get us across the street like that. In 2 seconds, we can get to the moon in a neural computer, to the moon. That's how fast signals travel. It is scary, but it's also exciting. So neural computers can learn as fast as we teach it. So you're sitting here listening to one person go on about neurocomputing and how it's going to change the world, while there's this neurocomputer sucking in everything on the internet and learning from everybody simultaneously. So how do you tap into that power? And if you could tap into that power and your competition can't, that's pretty huge. So that's what this is about. This is about tapping into that power. We're going to get into it kind of from a nuts and bolts. So here, let's look at the curriculum. Last week, we discussed advanced prompting using ChatGPT 4. We do not bother with ChatGPT 3.5. It's not that it's not good, it's excellent. It's good for certain types of operations. Yeah. September 2021, but that deadline is going to be lifted. There are other competing LLMs, large language models, that are competing with ChatGPT or OpenAI's large language model. So I think the pressure and the race is on. So there's ways to get around this context limitation? So that's a great question. One of the other things you'll run up against is specificity. You guys are each experts, okay? You're experts in your market, you're experts with your clients, you're experts in your field. Chat GPT is not, but you want to meld your expertise, and we're going to learn how to do that too. That's called context injection. Context injection says, I'm going to give you some of my smarts so I can get more of your smarts back. It's a lever, it's an accelerator, but it's going to learn from you. Don't forget, it's learning from you. Every word you say is a word that it learns, okay? So it's learning from you, it's learning what you want, but it's learning so that it's a collective intelligence is increased. What do you guys think a question is? What is a question? Think of it philosophically. Okay. And what does it mean? What is its purpose? Okay, so question is to gain knowledge, to understand, right? What were some of the other ones? Inquire, explore. Curiosity, that's a good one. Curiosity. Propose. Verify. Another one. What was clarify? What do you think a question is to an LLM, large language model? It's a piece. It's just a piece of. Does it understand this? Doesn't care. Okay, a lot of people don't get that, but it does understand what this means to people. No, you don't. In fact, I put question marks throughout my context, and I'll show you how to build context in a way that'll blow your mind. How many of you pound people with questions when you find an expert? You get in front of them, you just bang, 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 bang. I do, because I know how hard it is to find that person, and I've got all of this pent up inside of me. They are holes in my knowledge. They are gaps aching to be filled, right? So I'm looking for that person. And you know what I do when I have these curiosity gaps? That's what I call them, curiosity gaps. Because guess what? Think about curiosity gaps for your marketing. If you can create a curiosity gap in your prospect's mind, click, all right? So when I have curiosity gaps in my mind, do you know what I do? I walk around it. I say, I can't do this. I don't know this right now. I walk around it and I do something else. What is that? That's limitation. That's self-imposed limitation. And for me, it's amazing that I can find that expert, train that expert with exactly the curiosity gaps that I have and fill them. It's insane. Now, it also requires work, but not nearly as much work as walking around potholes for the rest of your life.